Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to jump right into it. I want to show y'all how to make cool shirts like this, or like this, or even like this. So if you're interested in that, stick along. I'm going to show you the full process from coming up with the idea to doing the final printing. Okay, this will be our kind of basis of what we're going to be carving, so make sure the lines are nice and clean, make sure everything's visible. Really think about positive and negative space, since you're only going to be working in your color you're printing in and then the color of the shirt or the paper you're printing on. Those will be your two colors you can use. Just do a lot of trial and error here, see what works well, use kind of a bold pen, and just keep messing around with it until you find something you really like. To get started, we'll need these basic supplies, a piece of linoleum that you can carve into, any sort of pencil. I'm using this woodless soft lead pencil because it will help us down the line with transferring our image, but you can use any pencil you want, anyone that works well for you. You're going to need one of these linoleum carving tools. I like the Speedball stuff, but I'm pretty sure there are other brands as well. You're going to need a brayer to roll the ink on, and then any sort of block printing ink will work. If you're printing on t-shirts, make sure you buy the specific fabric type because the normal ink will just wash off. You're also going to need paper, cardboard, and the t-shirts themselves. So now that we have our design all finished and printed out, you want to make sure it's not flipped. I know it'll get confusing in a minute. You're going to be flipping things back and forth, but just keep it right way around and everything will print fine. So from here, you want to take that pencil and you're going to want to go over any area that you're planning on leaving not carved. I'll take you back to when I'm done with this. Okay, now that the important details of our drawing are all covered in pencil or graphite or whatever, we're going to take our linoleum block, make sure it's out of the casing. And this one doesn't have like a wrong side, but make sure you put the right side face down onto whatever you're transferring it onto. So we're just going to line it up as carefully as we can and just put it right down onto that image. All right, now take some tape. I just have this big thick thing of like cellophane, and we're going to tape it down. Okay, now that it's taped down, we're going to flip it onto its backside, and we're going to take something to just rub that graphite into the linoleum. You can use your hands, you can use a paperweight, a water bottle, really whatever. Just as long as you get that graphite transferred onto the linoleum, you'll be good. Now that we have that all rubbed in, you're just going to tear that paper right off. You really don't have to worry about it ripping or anything because you're not going to need that anymore. But now you'll have a rough transfer of your image. Okay, next you're going to take a ballpoint pen and you just want to go over all the pencil lines. I would recommend having a reference of your original design up on the screen or on a piece of paper so you know the lines instead of just trying to remember what you had. But either way it'll work. This is just so the pencil doesn't rub away while you're carving. And the next step also, it's good to have a pen. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. Alrighty, now that we've got everything inked out with our nice ballpoint pen, and it doesn't have to be perfect, it can be rough. We're going to take a little bit of acrylic paint. Usually you should water this down, but I do not want to do that right now. You're going to want some sort of rag, so this is t-shirt scrap. You're going to put that paint, if you can get any on, put that paint onto the rag, and you're going to quickly rub it over your linoleum. And you have to be quick with this, and you don't want to get it all over yourself, but you just want to evenly kind of stain the print. It can be a little tricky, and I probably should have waited for my ink from the pen to dry a little more, but whatever. We ball, so there's not a lot of paint left in this. Oh, this did not go perfectly. All right, well, whatever, I can cut this out if I want to. There we go, that's better. Really just rub that in. I would use something that is colorful. I remember in my printmaking class we used black, and that was terrifying. But you're going to need this when you're carving so you can actually see where you've cut. where you haven't, is you're just staining that top layer and putting that ink down from the pen helps you see the lines, because see already they kind of even faded with the pen. So you got to be careful with that and wash your hands afterwards. But now we'll wait for that to dry and we can get carving. Okay, now before we get started with our carving, I just want to run you through how to use a carving tool in case you haven't already and this is your first time ever doing a linoleum print. There should be chapters in this video if you want to skip around, but if this is your first time carving linoleum, I would recommend a speedball carving tool. They're very nice, they cut really well. The different tools come in sizes and they will be labeled on the back. So you have usually, I think it's 1 through 5 or 6, and they have different sizes based on what you're planning to do with your tool. So how you set this up, this screws around, and you can see there's that little U shape in there. You want to slide the flat bit into that U shape when the top is loosened enough. And then see, once it's in there, that's when you tighten up the top and you're all ready to go. And then you can take it out and put a different nib in. I would recommend starting with the 1. You're going to do all your outlines, then go to either 2 or 3 depending on how big your backgrounds are. I would say do a 2, kind of thicken those borders, and then go in with a 3 to really do all the damage and take all the cuts out. Even there's a 5. This is what I do like my skies and whatnot with, just because it carves away really quickly. But here, let me show you how to carve. Now, depending on what kind of linoleum you have, I would recommend maybe getting a slip mat or something underneath so it doesn't slide around as much. This type I have that has the rubber bottom, you don't need to worry as much about slipping and sliding because it's pretty sturdy. Oh my goodness, shaking this camera. But what you're going to want to do, you've got your carving tool all ready to go, and let's just find a line. I'll start with the eagle first because that's kind of the big centerpiece. You gently place your carver onto the top of the linoleum, and it's like scooping ice cream. You just very gently go away from you. And if you do it well, you can get it all in one line. Oh, and it's really satisfying. There are going to be a lot of scraps around, so make sure you pick those up. But as you can see here, because we stained this linoleum, the cuts you've made are super clear and crisp. So you're going to want to go in first, like this line here, and just go through all of the outlines. It'll help you so much. And then you're going to want to deepen them, but we'll worry about that later. Let's get to a time lapse. Okay, in this segment here, when we got the time lapse, I'm going to yap over it because you know how I am. So I probably won't comment on the technique at all here. It's just kind of standard carving out outlines, like I said. I want to talk about the design itself because I'm proud of this one. Basically, I'm a big country music buff, if that isn't obvious. I feel like a lot of things in my life should make that pretty obvious. But I go to a lot of concerts because honestly, they're not that expensive and it's just a lot of fun. So this is a design based off of a Vincent Neil Emerson song called 25 and Wasting Time because I love that song. It's so good. There's a little bit that goes like, I saw that postcard on the fridge, an eagle flying over that mountain ridge. So that's the eagle flying over the mountain ridge, kind of made it look like a little postcard there. And it was such a fun design to do. You saw me making the design itself, definitely messing around a lot with different ideas and different ways I could do this, but it's just such a blast to have. And I'm going to save, I don't know if I'll put the picture up yet, but I went to the concert last night as of recording this, and it was so fun. Me and my friend wore the shirts, we were matching, and after the show, we went up to the musician, we went up to Vincent, we were like, hey dude, we got these awesome t-shirts, like I made it for the show. I was telling him it's based off your song, blah blah blah. He was like, that is the coolest thing I've seen. What? And it was so awesome. He's such a great guy. And then his manager was standing kind of right there and gave us like a P.O. box address. It was like, hey, can you send some of these? Because Vincent was like, I want that shirt. That's awesome. So now I need to go ahead and print a bunch more to send, because he just wanted one for himself, but I thought I'd send the whole band some shirts, because why not? But and my buddy Lucas was there, and I do shirts for him, so it was kind of fun, like worlds colliding. So all my country music shirts kind of merging into one. But yeah, it's kind of a tradition for me to make shirts for the concerts I go to. Back in May, I want to say, I went to Sturgill Simpson, or I should say it was his Johnny Blue Skies kind of new persona change. It's cool what he's doing. He doesn't want his music to be like associated with his full legal name, so he's Johnny Blue Skies now, and I love it. I love the new album, so that was a hoot. But I made a print based on one of his album covers, Cutting Grass Volume 1, because I did the color scheme, and it was fun to do. I gave another one to my friend who went with me, so it's always so fun to do that. And then upcoming, I've got Willie Carlisle, who is an incredible folk artist. If you like folk music even slightly, or if you're gay, listen to that man's music, because oh my god, it'll change your life. So I'm going with the same friend I went to Vincent, and I'm going to make us some shirts, which will be extra fun because a lot of Willie Carlisle's album covers, he has this amazing artist do them all, but one of the most recent ones was this big woodblock cut, which is very similar to Linoleum. And oh my god, I think their Instagram handle is like Whitstone Tattoo, Wstone Tattoo or something. I'll put it there. They're an incredible artist. I would kill to get a tattoo done by them one day. One day it'll happen. So I should put up a picture of that album cover too. But wow. So I don't know, this is kind of like my dream job too, just saying, like, making shirts for musicians. I've already gotten to do it, like I said, with my buddy Lucas. He does country shows. I'll put up a picture of that, but it's just such a fun thing to do, and I would love to do it as my real job. Alright, so now we have our finished lino cut. There's a little bit of gunk caught in this stuff, but whatever, it's not a huge deal. Before we put this on a t-shirt, we need to do an initial printing on paper just to prime the print. So I've got this here. I'm going to mix out the color I want to start using. So I'm doing like a navy blue. You can pretty much print in whatever color, just like make sure you have the right ink, which again, Speedball fabric and paper ink. I can't recommend it enough. It's so great. It works wonders. This one's actually brand new. I just started using the color ones. I usually just do black or white, but I got this colored ink set for not that much. It's pretty small amount, but a little goes a long way. So what you're going to want to do, put some globs down. Again, navy blue, so I have to mix it up. And then you're going to take your roller here, it's called a brayer, and you're going to keep these tight squares, just small little area. You can pretty much use any sort of flat, smooth surface to put ink on. I need to put more blue. Oops. Although this is fine for a test print, or just like a primer print. So you just go back and forth until your ink mixes well. And this is a good consistency. If you can, let me remove my microphone so you can hear that sound. Aside from the ASMR value, it is very easy to tell when the ink is ready because you can hear that nice sound. Now you're going to bring, it's kind of hard to see because I've got a busy desk, bring your print over here, your block, and you just roll that right over. Oh my god, that looks good. So kind of go back and forth, go back over here, pick up your roller, bring it back to your print. That is sick. Chat. Can I be honest? I'm so proud of this. Now, since this is just priming, I'm not going to go too crazy with it, and I'm just going to get a generic piece of lined paper because I don't really care. I just need to get this done. Drop that down. For this, you can just use your hands to rub it in and just get kind of all the areas you want to get, which is the whole thing. Make sure you get the sides. And then, voila. Test print isn't, oh my god, you can't even see. Isn't that nice? That looks so cool. So now let's start doing the shirts. Okay, so this next step involves a really cool process called ignoring how messy and awful my room is. So I have no idea what the framing is on this. Let's make sure it all fits. Alrighty, so hopefully y'all can see me. I've got the print here, which I need to actually act fast on this or else it'll get weird and gross. And then I've got a bunch of t-shirts here. Just run-of-the-mill, got them at Michael's, pretty cheap. Alrighty, so let me actually move that over here. We got this cardboard. You're gonna wanna take that, lay out your shirt, make sure it doesn't get on the ink because that would be not ideal. You're gonna wanna put this cardboard inside the shirt so it doesn't bleed, all right? That's probably, honestly, wait, I'm gonna do this with this shirt first because it'll be closer to the color I want it with this ink. Alrighty. Take your shirt, lay it down on the ground. Make sure the cardboard is going in between the two layers of fabric, or else it's pointless, truly. Now, you're gonna wanna flatten out the front of your shirt. Sorry that this is all upside down. I didn't plan this very well. You're gonna take your matrix, your stamp, and position it where you want the print to actually be printing. Then, where did it just go? And grab some masking tape and just get a little tiny piece to mark out a corner of your print. So here we go. It's one part of the corner, and that is the other part of the corner. Now, doing this just lets you not have to worry about repositioning it when you're printing, and you can take this to the side. Again, put it on something so you don't get ink on whatever you're rolling. I don't know. Put that to the side, mix up your ink again, and you're ready to print. So give me 2 seconds to do that. Alrighty, ink ready to go. Rolled out, locked and loaded. Oh, I need to find a better place to do this. I'll just hold it here. This is not the best. No, this is not professional. We do high quality. Ooh, it's hard to tell. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, I'm so dumb. I was gonna print something else on this shirt. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, because I was dumb, I'm just gonna wing it on this one and hope it turns out all right. This one's the one I'm making for myself anyway, so it doesn't matter if it looks good or not. That's my philosophy anyways. If it ain't for someone else, it can look kind of crap. Alrighty. Oh, we're gonna eyeball this. Hope it goes well. And it can be tricky lining it up. This is why I usually do the the other method. Okay. That looks even as it's gonna get. Now this is the fun part. You just step on it. Evenly distribute the ink, especially if you weigh a little more like me. It'll get all into the fabric. That's basically what you want. You just want the ink to seep right down into the fabric. And yeah, getting the fibers So it'll take a second, really just get all the way across the whole shirt. Oh, it's the big reveal. Oh, that looks clean. I don't know how well you're able to see it. That will look nice at the concert. Dude, that's so sick. Okay, time to print more. Now, I forgot about this trick. If you don't have masking tape, what you can do, depending on where you got your shirts, take the little sticker for the size. Just, oops. Gross. Rip it in two, and you got yourself easy little thing. I was actually using this to help figure out sizes as well, so I didn't have to keep looking at the tag. Just keep that there, boom, you're set. All right, I will say as soon as possible after you're done printing, wash your block, because if the ink dries in the little crevices there, it's gonna make your later prints not work well. You're gonna lose a lot of detail, and if the ink cakes on there, it's gonna just like make it really hard to get clean prints later on. I use one of these scrub brushes, it works wonders, and then just like kind of wash off the ink around it once you're done printing. But yeah, wash off your block, wash off your brayer, and wash off whatever you were rolling it onto. All right, so now that I've printed all of them, I think this one might have came out my favorite. I wish I'd done a better job mixing the colors, but this is nice navy. I'll be wearing this to a concert later this weekend based off of Vincent Neil Emerson. I already said this in the speed paint, you know this. Then we got this one. It got over inked a bit. Basically, that's when you put too much ink on your like rolling block. It doesn't turn out as great. But you still get some of that detail in the wings, which I'm glad about. I just don't like how you lose detail in the beak and you get these streaks. So make sure you don't have too much ink when you're rolling it out. This one's a bit under inked. This was the first pull I did. I think it's pretty nice. Again, the color I'm not in love with, but it's pretty cool. And then this one I think actually turned out the best. It's nice and navy. You've got some of those streaks, but honestly it works really well. I wish I'd carved these more vertically, but it looks awesome. And look at that feather detail on that one. Oh, that's nice. That's a good looking shirt. All right, so as far as the curing, drying, and that sort of thing process for these shirts, basically you just want to let them sit like on the ground flat for about 24 hours. I threw this on just because it looks sick and I wanted to show it off. Look at how nice that came out. That's nice. But just to be safe, usually let them sit for 24 to 48 hours. I usually wait just about 24 because I'm impatient. And after that, the ink should have set. You don't need to heat treat it if you're using the same ink as I am. I can't say anything for other types of inks, but if you're using the Speedball, this ink, or one of these larger tubes, if you're using one of these, it sets in about a day or two. Again, usually closer to a day, and you don't need to iron it or anything. You can just throw it straight in the wash. The shirt I was wearing earlier in the video, this shirt I printed probably back in 2022, 2023. I don't remember exactly when, but it was my sophomore year. And it has always looked like that because the print didn't come out the cleanest. This was the first shirt I ever printed, actually. But yeah, it hasn't faded at all since I originally printed it. And honestly, the print's holding up better than the shirt, although I already had chewed through the shirt. I used to have a biting problem, whatever. Anyway, that's how you make a really cool shirt. I'll put some pictures of the ones I've made for other things. It's a really cheap option for merch. If you're doing boots or if you're a musician or what have you, it's a quick way to make something that you don't have to keep paying fees to some company to do these on-demand shirts. You can just sit in your room with a buddy for about 10 hours. I'm talking about this out of experience. 10 hours is a lot of hours. But me and my friend, we just sat in my room printing shirts for 10 hours. It was 2 days of work split up. But we made about 110 shirts. He's a musician, so He got to sell those at his gig recently, which was so fun. Here's the shirt. It's awesome. Y'all should check him out. He's a pretty cool dude. But yeah, I've sold these at different vendor booths. I have some on Etsy. Link below. Just saying, there are only a few left. I will say, not to be like, oh my goodness, only a few left. But there are only a few left, and I'm moving to college in like a week. So get in now while you can, I guess. Ooh, I don't know. It's great for Christmas gifts, birthday gifts. Just like make a cool print for someone. Give them a cool shirt. It costs a little bit of money to get the supplies. Although even then, not much. It's like no more than $50 you should be spending on all this stuff, like combined. And you can make cool prints for people. I've got prints all over my room. I might put up pictures, I might not. But yeah, it's a really cost-effective way to make merch or make people gifts. And you can keep using it. Like, you don't have to pay after you make the initial lock. You've got that for life. Literally, they last like forever. I have all of mine still. So I can just make as many t-shirts as I want. People will be like, oh, hey, that's a cool shirt. I keep that in my mind. And I say, okay, well, for their birthday, I'm going to give them a shirt, because why not? The bag that I pulled all my stuff out of, you can literally print them on anything. So I went out today to buy the t-shirts. I just went up to Michael's. I drove up there, and I was wearing my shirt with this pattern on it and carrying my bag with this pattern on it. It was awesome. I felt so cool. I was like, look at me, I'm so artsy. I'm going to Michael's with my cool artsy bag and my cool artsy shirt. And it feels awesome, and I love it. And I will say, the next lino print, I'm going to try and bust out one more before I move, because I really want, there's that new Tyler Childers album that just came out. Little unpaid promo here. I felt so performative today, holy crap. Snipe Hunt, great album, loving it. But someone on Twitter or some crap like that said, oh my goodness, this whole new Tyler Childers album, it's so bad. He used to be the voice for Appalachia, and now he's just a hick lib. So I'm making a shirt that says hick lib on it, and it's gonna have like a banjo, and it's gonna be awesome. And that shirt that I almost printed on today in the video that you just saw, that's the one I was gonna put hick lib on. I'm gonna mix up a nice dark brown paint, and it's gonna be awesome. I rushed a little sticky note drawing, see? In the car, I had the idea. It'll be cool. It'll be cool, trust. Do some nice text with that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I don't really have anything crazy to plug right now. Just, again, keychains, still for sale. I still got them. They're not going anywhere. So I got these bad boys, and I think I have one more of my cowboy shirt, the one you saw me wearing earlier in the video. I think I have one more of those. I've got a couple shirts based off Zach Bryan's song, which I'm not a huge Zach Bryan fan anymore, but I will say Tourniquet is a damn good song. So if you like cool songs and weird, gory t-shirts, check that out. I think that's it. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you stuck around, I hope this was informative to some people. I know I have a lot of people always complimenting how I do my lino cuts. And this video was a long time coming. I have clips from like February or something like that of my friend carving one of his lino cuts that I was planning on using for B-roll, and then I didn't end up using for B-roll because I didn't make the video until now, which is August. So it's been a minute, but it was so fun. Shout out to my printmaking teacher that I had. I took printmaking junior year. Literally my favorite class ever. Oh my god, that was so fun. That's where I did a bunch of the prints I showed on here. That's where I learned a bunch of the techniques that I used. And that's where I made this little, this isn't a lino cut, but it's pretty sick. Yeah. Take a printmaking class if your school has one. Shout out Walt. You're not seeing this video, I know, but shout out. goated guy. He's so cool. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for watching. Check out my links, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.